Photographs of a trove of classified documents are reportedly circulating online. They reveal sensitive secrets, including Russia's war tactics and Ukrainian defense capabilities. Canada also comes up. One CIA document reportedly refers to a pro-Russian hacking group claiming it has successfully broken into Canada's gas distribution network. Canadian authorities won't comment on the leak, and at this time there is no evidence to corroborate the hacking group's claim. Stephanie Carvin is an associate professor at Carleton University's Norman Paterson School of International Affairs, and Professor Carvin specializes in issues of intelligence and national security. Okay, Stephanie, let's start on this CIA document referring to a hack of Canada's gas distribution network. No public reports of that, no acknowledgement of that. How do you interpret this intelligence?
That's a really good question. And I feel like, this has been a constant theme of me being on your show recently, that there's an intelligence report and we have to figure out how to interpret it, right? So in this particular case, what the intelligence report says is that basically there's a hacking group, I believe it's Zaria, which is discussing with the FSB, which is of course the successor to the KGB, and basically plans to infiltrate Canadian infrastructure, particularly what we call industrial control systems, or ICS, and supervisory control and data acquisition systems, or SCADA systems, which can basically disrupt the flow of critical infrastructure, potentially causing either economic damage or, as the intelligence says, explosions. And in this, there's two different reports, and all surrounding the 25th of February, where they basically say they're going to conduct a serious attack. And then they basically say, well, we're going to do something serious, but we caused economic damage, and we think that's enough, reporting back. So yeah, we don't know if this attack actually occurred. We don't know if they're just bragging about it and looking for a paycheck as a result. Why not? And I think that, we have to be careful and rushing to conclusions. All this really is, it's a report of a conversation between two different entities that the U.S. was monitoring. I think the disturbing thing here, though, is that Canada is seen as a legitimate target by the Russian Federation. And, clearly there's an attempt here, at the very least, to probe our sensitive critical infrastructure.
Right, and so Canada is seen as a target. Critical infrastructure would be the obvious option if you are going to do something like this, even though there's no sort of corroboration this actually happened. But Steph, what do we know about just the vulnerability of Canada's critical infrastructure to cyber attacks like the one contemplated in these documents?
Well, we do know that this is something the Canadian government has been warning about for some time, particularly the Communications Security Establishment. They have released reports in 2018, 2020, and right before the attack in, Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, they released a media advisory and an advisory to critical infrastructure stakeholders, warning that this is something that could happen, that they were aware of adversarial states targeting, probing, sitting on potentially critical infrastructure systems, and that, should there be a conflict or should Canada be seen as supporting Ukraine, that there could be some kind of retaliatory action taken. And this is something that we have worried about. It is something that is scary. And even the intelligence reports say that if this attack happens, and again, we don't know if it did, it would be the first of its kind against, I believe, a Western target by Russia. So it's a pretty serious thing to happen.
We have this broader issue yet again of leaked intelligence documents, and this cache is pretty significant if it's real. So if the documents are real, how big a deal is this in your view?
I think it's a pretty serious deal in the sense that, we have seen leaks before. There's the Snowden leaks. There was a Reality Winner who released information about the investigations into Donald Trump. There was accidental leaks where people may have taken important critical information home with them and then have it hacked and stolen. This is different. I mean, it's not as big as the Snowden leaks. It doesn't show the same, wide variety of activities, but the actual information in it is extremely sensitive, right? This isn't just diplomatic cables of discussions between, different ambassadors and representatives and things like that. What it does do is that it shows that there are basically that the United States government has compromised thoroughly the Russian government
Right.
on almost every single level. And what it does do is also put at risk those sources, right? It could be human sources that have been recruited and now their lives are potentially at risk, or it could also be, signals intelligence, like interceptions of electronic communications or computer systems. And I believe there's been media reporting also about certain satellite systems that have been put into place that could also potentially be countered by Russia. And we all suspect that Ukraine will be gearing up into some kind of spring offensive in the war. And if the United States has been providing Ukraine information on Russia in order to help these efforts, that intelligence may now be compromised or even potentially cut off.
Right, and there was also information there about Ukraine's vulnerabilities, the state of its air defense systems, things that could certainly help Russia in this conflict. Today, no U.S. official could say that the leak is contained, just that there are investigations underway. They're trying to find the sources of this. Should allies, Canada, other intelligence partners, Ukraine in particular, be worried by all of this?
I think I don't think anyone's going to stop intelligence sharing with the United States or stop taking on intelligence from the United States as a result of these leaks, as it were. But yeah, I mean, this is just the sensitive information there is of very serious concern. And you do hope that there is going to be some kind of investigation and prosecution of this individual. There's all kinds of speculation as to the motives behind it, and it's really interesting to me and extremely concerning to me that the place where a lot of this information seems to have showed up is on gaming forums and social media channels and things like this, potentially to win an argument on the internet. Right? I mean, you can disagree with Snowden or Reality Winner or whoever, but they saw themselves as whistleblowers. Right? They thought they were doing a good thing, whereas this person just seems to have casually put like the highest classified information possible on the internet for reasons that are still unknown. This is very irresponsible, and it is something I think the U.S. does need to ensure that it's clamped down on, not just for U.S. allies, but also potentially for for its domestic institutions as well, which will also be very concerned that this is happening.
Professor Stephanie Carvin, always good to talk to you. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much.